Good morning and welcome to the Skeinz Diaries. I am Maree. Welcome along for this Thursday morning, Thursday, the 4th of May, episode 247. Sorry, I'm a little late. Got caught up doing a million and one things. And then, of course, technology wasn't being my friend this morning. How is everyone today? Oh, let me get comfortable. This light, hopefully my light's going to pop on any minute. I'm good. How is everyone at your place? I hope you have been able to do some knitting. And if you've been a little bit further north than us here, you haven't been too drowned out. I hear it's just been awful, which is not very nice, is it? We're grey and sort of spotty, so it hasn't been too bad. Good morning, everybody. Welcome along. So we've been chugging along as we have, I can't believe it's May already. May the 4th be with you. Which also means another thing too. May the 4th be with you. It's Ethan's birthday today. So if you're on the Outlaw, because I'm sure he's a Star Wars baby, you might want to. It's Star Wars Day, International Star Wars Day. So you might need to get hold of Ethan today and wish him a happy birthday for International Star Wars Day. Look at that. There you go. I do have a confession to make. My name is Maree, and I'm now no longer monogamous to my work and project that I have been doing for my brother. The fatal thing happened yesterday. I needed to cover the shop yesterday afternoon, and it was a little quiet, and everything was stocked up. Like there was nothing needing doing out there. So often we knit swatches or things like that for new stuff coming in, but even all that had been done. So we had. Oh, actually, have I got it sitting? Oh, yes, I have got it in here. So sitting on the, I think I put the newsletter out a few weeks back, where I had sorry, I'm just getting it out, where I had slippers. I talked about different slippers, and one of them was this one here, the Norwegian house slippers, which is multiple versions of this around. It's a felted slipper, so essentially you knit it. So what you're knitting. And I did this years ago. So this is one of the first things. It is actually a pattern that's out there. There's a link there. But I knitted it and figured out where all the placements of all the colour is. You knit this strip. And then you do this sort of origami that Bruce Forsyth would be proud of, because it's not the most straightforward origami when you look at it in the instructions. It's one of those aha moments, like once you've done it once, you go, oh. But you need to, but there is a video. And I have put the video link there of how to fold it. And that was sitting on the filing cabinet, and I thought, oh God, I haven't knit those for years. And my kids loved those slippers, and I love those slippers. And in fact, I found my pair a while ago, and I love them so much. I wore a hole in them, and then I darned across the bottom and refelted them across the bottom, because you can do that, right? It's easy. And then I had to retire them. I thought, I'm going to make some slippers. So I cast this on just while I was standing in the shop yesterday. And this is actually Stornoway. If you're looking at this thinking, that's a really weird looking ball. This is the Highlander Heather Stornoway. And this is a ball when we were trialing different ball shapes of what ball we were going to do. So this is one of those. So I've gone and cast that on for the sole, which kind of makes sense because it's a lovely dark colour for a sole. Yeah, and I can see what's going to happen now is that I'm going to finish these, and I'm not going to work on my brother's jumper at all, because I'm going to be far too interested in doing this. So I've got this. I have got so purpley colour with a red. This is just Southland Epoxy red. And then I've got this. This one was in thread waste. So that's not an us yarn, but it is in thread waste. So that's a fine. But it's the gold. It's because, of course, the gold in the... See, look at those. Classic. And then I've got... Where is it? Oh, it's still in the bag. One stray sample ball left of vintage for one of the vintage prints. So by the time you throw all those together, or I do actually have the shrubbery from the leftover jumper that Delene made, I might do the shrubbery. I haven't quite decided. I've got the shrubbery on the desk as well. So yeah, I know. It's just so naughty because I shouldn't be doing it. I should be finishing the jumper. I know I should be finishing the jumper because I want him to have it for the winter. And in fact, the whole goal was for him to have it. He's at a duck shooting this coming weekend. Both the brothers go to a duck shooting weekend, which is a traditional thing that they've done for eons with another friend in Wairarapa. And I was really kind of hoping to have the whole thing finished so he could whiz it out at duck shooting and look all fabulous and sartorial. Yeah, no, I'm about this far up the second sleeve, so he's going to have to wait. I know, it's so bad. And I've just cast it. I'm just like, I really want to finish the slippers, which I know will be able to do pretty quickly. I know I'll be able to do that pretty quickly, but I'm not getting as much knitting time at the moment because I'm so busy with other projects like Not August Nights that it's just, yeah, I know, naughty, eh? I mean, we're all like that, aren't we? Please tell me we're all like that because I'm just really, really shocking at the moment. So good morning, everyone. Oh, Delina's saying working on the larger sizes in the grandpa's tea. Oh, Deline, you star. Let me know when you've done that or post it into the speakeasy. Deline's grandpa's tea is a brilliant pattern if you're looking for one for charity knitting because it's sort of kind of like a little t-shirt vesty knit, and it's great for older kids because they generally wear a long sleeve t-shirt or a skivvy underneath. But it keeps the, and it's a much easier thing for them to wear. So I think that's brilliant. So thank you so much for sending in all your bits and pieces as well. There are so many people that have been sending in donations, and I left got 2 gorgeous crochet blankets that came in through the shop yesterday. They were divine. They were so lovely. You may have seen in the newsletter, we sent out a huge big bundle of stuff up to our contact in Waikato Moana, which is all part of that Waikato Moana, Frasertown, Wairoa area that all got quite heavily hit. So a big lot of stuff went up to our direct contact in that area yesterday. So hopefully, touch wood, they'll get that tomorrow because it's got to go the long way around to get there because the road is still closed. So that's been good news to get all of that out. So do feel, if you're wondering whether we're getting stuff distributed, it's good. Yeah, we are, and it's nice. You may have also seen the thank you from Tikaraka. So we're still continuing to get stuff in there. The kindness kits were the first, all those groups a lot of the groups that I distributed to in Gisborne knit and then had everything distributed out to Tikaraka, and then we had more go out to Tikaraka last week. So they are so appreciative because they, again, they just, a good part of that village just got completely wiped out. So they're super appreciative of all the support that they're getting there. So thank you, everybody. It's great. Really do enjoy appreciating it. Right. What I was going to talk about this morning is more options for double time because loads of you are getting into this. You're really enjoying it. Our poll, and remember there is that Pulse and Flight offer with a coupon. You have to use the coupon, or if you come in store, you have to tell the team about the coupon to get the discount. I can't stress it enough, and it cannot be applied retrospectively. And I'm going to put the coupon here in the chat. And thank you to the person that alerted me that the coupon had run out. So we loaded some more of those up. So I've just gone and put that in the chat. And it is TM double time, all one word, all in capitals. Nice and easy. And you will get a discount off that yarn. But I also wanted to talk about sort of yarn from stash because, I mean, it is our knitathon month. And I had this sitting on my desk. I actually need to get, I'll probably actually, what I think I might do is put a seam in it and stuff it and turn it into a draft stopper. This was a yarn that we made, and I think it just went on the Skeinz label, and they had names. What were the names of them? They were, I think one was called Avignon, and they sort of had French names. Paisley prints is what we called them. That's what we dubbed them, Paisley prints. And do you guys remember these? Did any of you guys pick up any of these? I think they were last year, or might have even been the year before. So there they are there. So these are so this is when we were deciding how to make the prints. So what this is running a whole bunch of the dyed singles together into different combinations to decide what we wanted to do. So that's why they look all kind of crazy. But the finished ones, I definitely know that one was one of them. And I know that one was one. As to was this one there. So if you've got any of these lurking around, I'm knitting them now, Margaret's saying, stop it. If you've got any of these sitting around in stash, these would be perfect for double time because those colours are incredible. And if you need to match any of the colours back, you can do that with either Perrindale or Snug. And you can actually work those back. And I just wanted to, and it's because I saw this, because we want to use stuff from stash too, right? Because this makes great charity knitting. But if you've got this in stash and it's been sitting there and you're looking at it and you've, even if you've got only sort of 8 or 9 balls or even, this is another good option if you're wanting to do double time and use it up. The other thing you can do, and I had someone else bring this up as well, is if you've got a collection of these, a number of people bought, you may have bought 2 or 3 balls of each and have several different colours. There's absolutely no reason whatsoever that you can't alternate which ball you use as you're knitting this up. There's nothing in the rules, because remember, there's no rules with knitting. There's nothing in the rules that says you have to knit the contrast in the same shade. So you can actually knit it in any shade you want. You could stripe it, you could do double shades, you can do anything. So if you've got several unicorn skeins of yarn maybe lurking around, so you know that you'll need sort of 300 or 400 grams of that contrast color is what you have a look at some of your unicorns and see if you've got some that that you can play around with and double and do alternating stripes or go completely random and throw a dice or do however you choose to do it. There's absolutely nothing stopping you doing that. The only thing stopping you is you, people. So that is definitely an idea, because it'd be so good to get some of that stash yarn cleaned up, right? I think it's a great idea. So that's why I just wanted to show you that with the paisley prints, because I thought, oh, some of you may have some of these in your stash. So that's a really good idea. The other idea that came to me this morning was there's absolutely no reason why this has to be actually you can actually stripe this in solids if you wanted. So someone suggested the other day the Flight Natural shades, and this, so like the lightest color, which is the kiwi, set maybe with wicker in between, the stripes would look so pretty. It would look really, really pretty, and that would be great for a striped cardigan. But this was the other thought I had, is why don't you go sort of do the whole Hohi Locatelli thing to it, right? And she had her Elton cardigan, which is a 4-ply cardigan done in stripes, and it is and it mixes in that particular cardigan, it mixes a fine single roving 4-ply or fingering weight with a fine mohair. And I suddenly thought to myself, actually, why couldn't you do that with double time? Use for your main color just a standard DK, but in those stripes, do a mohair of the same color, and then what you get is a single colored cardigan with all this wonderful texture in between. That would look so good. It would look so good. So I pulled together a couple of combinations because we've got some combinations that'll work. So that was the first 2 there. So this is the Truly Myrtle Joy with the Whisper Fine Summer. Look at that. Amazeballs, right? That is one option. Or you could go Rebel and then do magenta in between. Then we've got colours like the Snug in green with the Verdant. There's also the cyan with aria, perfect matches, which is what I did my shoji in. So it's sort of pretty. So that color is basically the color of the wall behind me. And if you wanted to do a light one, because this is a new shade that we've got in, this is Ice Peach. Oh, put that back in there. That's Ice Peach. And look at this, Bellini. Oh, that'd be lovely, right? Or if you've got this Bellini, would also work, I think, with the Cromwell from if you've got Cromwell from the roving, or we've still got roving out there in Cromwell, this would work with really well with that. And that would give you, because of the single roving and the Cromwell, that would give you a really lovely looking cardigan. So that is another option. You know, it's about throwing caution to the wind and having some fun and seeing what you could do. I think that would look really quite amazing. So have a look at some of these Whisper Fine colors, or you may even have some unicorn skeins of some fluff sitting in your stash. I mean, you might have some hedgehog fiber fluff, you might have some other finer fluff in there. But take a look at that. Because what that does is it adds texture and color to your project. And I have to say, just a little bit like that, and breaking it up in between, it is just so much fun. Because there's nothing stopping you doing that. You can actually do that. So I think that that's a really great idea. Oh, there we go. Sabrina is saying she's knitting Double Time and Flight Naturals Falcon and Weka. So they're much closer together. And she's saying it's giving beautiful, subtle striping. That would give, and I'm assuming, what are you doing as the main color? The Weka, which is the darker one, or the Falcon? That would be really interesting too. So it's about having some fun. And if you want to know how things are looking and you're wanting to swatch with this, one of the really good ways that you can do it, and I would suggest that you do it, is just cast on a small portion of the swatch, knit about half the ribbing. So knit a little segment like that. So do a little bit of your ribbing in the main color. So only a centimeter or two. You don't need, yes, darker Weka is the main color. Fabulous. So just brain engage, do about a couple of centimeters, and then start doing your striping. And then that will give you a really nice idea of how it will look, particularly if you're mixing it up with these. And because this is fine, I would still knit this on your 4mm needle like a DK. So what it then means is that you'll have one stripe that's quite solid, and then you'll have another stripe which will be all sort of easy, wispy, ethereal, another stripe quite solid. And because they're only 2 row stripes, it means that it will still be very, very cohesive as a fabric. But play around with it. Like if you've got some yarns like this at home and you want to swatch with some stuff, just do a little bit of a swatch and see how it looks, and have a little fiddle around. And that's when you'll suddenly have a eureka moment. Often you'll go, oh, I'm going to do that instead. Having a day where you actually do that, like if I get time, and I often do this when I have a break or a holiday, if I get time to actually sit around with yarns and dig around and stash and just play around and swatch. I do it all the time, and often I'll swatch and think, oh, I could quite like that. And then I'll put the swatch in the bag with whatever the collection of yarns is, because then if I go back to it, the work there is already done. So that's also a really fun thing to do. Adele's asking, can you explain the differences between the roving and usual DK? Right, so I haven't got a roving on me, but I can show you with this. The biggest difference between the roving and the DK is essentially the number of plies that we use to create the yarn. So this is our snug, which is the same construction as our Southlander, Perrindale, and this yarn. And in fact, Chatswood's slightly different count. This is what we call a 495 bar 3. I know, sounds sexy, doesn't it? 495 bar 3. Hello, darling, how are you? I'm 495 bar 3. How are you? What's your name? 480 bar 3. Or I'm a 300 bar 2. Anyway, I digress. So this is made up with 3 strands of yarn. Each one of these is 165 ticks, in case you're interested. And then it is all spun together, twisted together to create the yarn. The roving is a 500 bar one count. So that what that means is that the one single strand for the roving is what we call a 500 ticks thickness, and it's only just had a slight amount of twist added to it, and it's been water set to create the yarn. So what you do get is a very plump and lush DK, because it's lots of fibers that haven't had that twist to tame it. So it does give you this really plump, lush yarn. I knitted the basket weaver shawl with it. So when I knitted it, because it hasn't got the twist to tame everything, you do also get a slight blooming and haloing of the fibers on there, which is actually quite nice. It's great for shawls because you get that lovely unctuousness. The downside, of course, is that you will develop a very, very tight relationship with your D-pillar, particularly if you're using it for garments. But it does make, as Jeanette said, it makes great blankets and great shawls. It does make great blankets and great shawls. So that's why I did the shawl in mine. I think that's where it's happy places. Unless you're somebody, and I'm one of these people, I'll be honest, D-pilling doesn't faze me in the slightest. Our electric fabric shavers are the best thing that have ever been invented, ever. And it just, if I've got something that needs a little bit of a tidy up, I just give it a tidy up, even if it's every 2 or 3 wears. And it tidies up beautifully with fabric shaver, or even just a sweater stone or a comb. For those asking about sweater stones, I have had a few recently. The company, I don't know whether the company's they've not disappeared, but they're trying to sell it. And in fact, they tried to get us to buy it. But that's part of the reason why we haven't been able to get any. It's from their end, not ours. So on the sweater stones. Sabrina's saying, I originally thought of using Chatswood Chelsea with Southland Male Tamatea, but not quite ready for something that bold. Sabrina, why? Because that would be an excellent combination. Rubbish. You are always ready for something quite that bold, Sabrina. Always. Absolutely always. Totally. Yes. Do it. Actually, I had someone in yesterday that bought for double time, and it was probably the best combination I've seen so far in the shop. And I was like, I'm actually kicking myself that I didn't think of it. It was so freaking sexy. It was Pulse Quake with Chatswood Somerset. Now, Chatswood Somerset is that beautiful limey citrus green, but with the fleck in it. And like she had them on the counter, and I just went, gosh, those look good. And she said, oh, yes. I'm going to do the double time in it. And I was like, wow. It just like, the Somerset is such a poppy color anyway, but with that, it just, it's going to look so good. Like, it's going to look so good. So lovely. Sabrina, it is lovely to knit up yet, but yet, sorry. Oh, she's okay. It does knit up lovely, but yet to really get into stripes, hence going for subtle on the first double time. Reverse side looks even better. Oh, Sabrina. All right. It's going to be wonderful. You're allowed your start a double time, and then I expect to see some pop. I think it will be amazing. It will be really amazing. Okay, I'm going to get going because, as usual, 1,000,001 things to do, and I don't have Claire here today. Oh, can you imagine what I can get up to today without Claire here? It's very exciting. It's so exciting. I love it. Oh, she'll watch this back tonight and she'll just shake her head. She's going to get in here tomorrow when I'm not here. Oh, what's today? Thursday? Yeah, tomorrow when I'm not here, and she'll just go. So good. I think I'm actually going to put together a little thing. I haven't even organised my newsletter yet. I think I might actually do some more pictures of some combos. Do you think it's a good idea? I think it's a good idea. I'm going to go and do that. Anyway, you guys have a great day. And if you get a chance, and you're in the Outlaw HQ thingy, yes, wish our boy happy birthday. All right, take care. I'll see you guys on Monday.